The Fermi paradox is the paradox of the lack of evidence we have of alien life despite the high likelihood it exists. Proposed hypothetical explanations vary wildly from being alone in the universe, to everyone is listening, no one is transmitting, to Earth being deliberately uncontacted. Frog Boys, 5 kids disappeared while searching for salamander eggs on a mountain near a military base in 1991. Their bones were found 11 years later with their clothes tied together with bullets wrapped in them. The police refused to ever investigate the military and the case remains unsolved. The Fort Worth missing trio refers to an unsolved missing persons case that began in December 1974, when Mary Tricker, Lisa Wilson, and Julie Mosley went missing from a shopping center in Texas. The car they were driving was left behind in the parking lot, but the girls have not been seen since. The Kentucky meat shower was an incident in 1876, where what appeared to be chunks of red meat fell from the sky in a 100 by 50-yard area in Bath County, Kentucky. The exact type of meat was never identified, although various reports suggested it was beef, lamb, deer, bear, horse, or even human. Dyatlov Pass incident, event in which 9 Russian hikers mysteriously died in the Ural Mountains in 1959. 6 died from hypothermia, while the other 3 showed signs of physical trauma, including missing eyes and tongues. High levels of radiation were found on only one victim's clothing. This is the last painting Theodore Géricault ever did. It shows him gaunt and withered as a result of tuberculosis. He is known for painting the macabre, including portraits of psychiatric patients, severed head and limbs. Many of his family members struggled with insanity, including himself. The boy who was raised as a girl. A botched circumcision, 6 months old, led to a sex reassignment surgery before the age of 2. The truth came out at age 14. Suicide at the age of 38. After killing a 9-year-old girl, she wrote in her journal, "It was amazing. As soon as you get over the oh my god I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kinda nervous and shaky though right now. I gotta go to church now. Lol." Fatal insomnia is a rare disorder which has no known cure and involves progressively worsening insomnia, which leads to hallucinations, delirium, dementia, and eventually death. Blanche Monnier was a French socialite held captive by her mother for 25 years. When she was found by the authorities, she was laying in a bed covered by feces and leftover food. She only weighed 55 pounds. 12 years after her rescue, she died in an insane asylum, having never regained her sanity. The Persian Princess, a sarcophagus sold on the black market, contains a mummy claimed to be that of an ancient princess, later discovered to be the body of an unidentified woman murdered in the 1990s. Magdalene laundries were institutions where young women who had committed prostitution, who were unwed mothers or who were mentally disabled, were kept in these asylums for indefinite period, being forced to work and pray. In 1993, a mass grave containing 155 corpses was found at one of the laundries. Damnatio memoriae, a punishment for traitors, etc. in ancient Rome, by which they were effectively erased from history by having their works undone and any mention of their name forbidden. The Romans viewed it as a punishment worse than death. The black paintings of Francisco Goya, works with dark, disturbing themes, painted directly onto the walls of Goya's house during his final years when he lived as a recluse. Goya did not intend for the paintings to be exhibited, did not write of them, and likely never spoke of them. A woman doctor wrote that she had not yet become a cannibal, but was not sure that I shall not be one by the time my letter reaches you. The good people died first. Those who gave food to others died. Those who refused to eat corpses died. Those who refused to kill their fellow man died. Moon-eyed people, a race of people from Cherokee tradition who are said to have lived in Appalachia until the Cherokee expelled them. They are mentioned in a 1797 book by Benjamin Smith Barton, who explains they are called moon-eyed because they saw poorly during the day. Cotard's delusion, also known as walking corpse syndrome or Cotard's syndrome, is a rare mental disorder in which the affected person holds the delusional belief that they are dead, do not exist, are putrefying, or have lost their blood or internal organs. Hitobashira, human pillar, practiced formerly in Japan, is a human sacrifice, buried alive under or near large-scale buildings like dams, bridges, and castles, as a prayer to the gods so that the building is not destroyed by natural disasters such as floods or by enemy attacks. Green Boots is the nickname of an unidentified corpse on Mount Everest that's been used as a landmark since 1996. His body is among approximately 200 others that found their final resting place on the mountain. The forest grove sound was an unexplained noise described as a mechanical scream or a giant flute played off-pitch. It was heard multiple times in Forest Grove, Oregon in February 2016. The source has never been identified. Havana syndrome is the name given to a series of unique attacks on US and Canadian diplomats, primarily in Cuba in recent years and also now in China. Studies on the diplomats have revealed permanent brain damage. A study identified RF/MW radiation exposure via the Frey effect as the source of injury.